To change your acoustic guitar strings, you're going to need a packet of strings, a string winder, and some wire clippers. Once you've taken the strings out of the packet, you need to work out which strings go in what place. For this one, they're colour coded, so the E, A, D, G, B, E strings have got coloured ends on, relating to each string. Some strings are in separate packets with the gauge on each packet, so if you just refer to the back of the packet, it usually tells you which strings go to the corresponding places. Carefully unwind your strings, taking care not to poke your eye out, and make sure you don't stretch them too much or bend them. Put your strings to one side and try and keep them in order so it makes it easier for you when you're putting them on the guitar. First thing to bear in mind is to not take all of the strings off at once, because it will mess up the tension and could possibly damage the neck. So if you take off one or two at a time, replacing them as you go along, that's usually the best way to do it. You need to get your string winder and slot it into the peg, and turn it clockwise if you're doing it from this way to loosen the string. Once it's fairly loose from the peg, we move up to this end. You need to get your string winder, slot it over the pin that's holding it in place, and then gently ease it out. Don't do this while the string is still tight, otherwise it may fly out and could impale you, but there we go. Once that's out, you can now take the string out of the hole and just unravel it from the end here. And there we have it. Now that the string's off, you may at this point want to just wipe down the fretboard with a cloth, and if you have some guitar polish, you can apply it now onto the fretboard. It's best to do this at this stage so that you can reach all the bits that you can't when the strings are on. So it's good for maintenance of the guitar as well. Get rid of all the grime. The next step is to fit the first string. So get your first string. This is the low E string. Make sure you have the right string for the right place. Get the end that has the little ball at the end here and put it into the hole like so. You don't need to put it too far down, just where the thick bit of the wire goes. So just put it in a little way, and with the pin that you took out earlier, this will push it down in as far as it needs to go. Make sure it's aligned to the little groove as well that's in the pin here. And it should, there we go, it will slot in. No need to force it. If you are forcing it, like I was a little bit there, you just need to realign the peg at the end, just so it's got the groove in line with the string. You're now going to bring the string up to the tuning peg end. Make sure it's slotted into the right groove up here. You now need to get the guitar string, and what I've done here is just align the hole so it's 90 degrees to the string. Get the thin end and thread it through. Now the trick here is to leave some slack in the string. How much slack you need depends on what tuning you have it in. So if you will be dropping down quite a lot, you'll probably want to leave more slack, but generally probably leave it so it comes about an inch or so off the fretboard. So once you've got it to enough slack, you now want to make a right angle in the string. Just bend it like that. Once you've made a right angle in the string, This will make it easier and stop it from flying out once you start winding it up. Now you need to get your string winder, attach it to the peg and start turning anti-clockwise. This can be a little bit tricky. Once you've started winding it up, it will become easier to keep winding. You need to make sure that the bit poking out stays on top and doesn't slip underneath the bits that are ravelling around it. That's it. Once you've got it so it's pretty tight, you might just want to bend it outwards and put it out of the way for now. I'm now going to repeat this process with the other strings so you get the idea of how it's done. So first step, unravel the string. Once it's loose, get your tool here, your string winder, and gently prise up the peg. Pull the string out and take it off. Get your replacement string, and with the replacement string put the peg into the bridge. Bring it to the top. Make sure that the hole here is at a right angle, like so. Thread the string through the hole. Leave about an inch of slack from the fretboard and make a 90-degree bend in the string, and then start winding. Making sure that the bit that you threaded through stays on top of the line of ravels that are done. Once that's completed, give the string a bend and just leave it out of the way like that. Now all the strings are on, you need to tune up the guitar. Once it's tuned up, you'll probably notice that it keeps going out of tune. Reason being is the strings aren't stretched yet and therefore haven't fixed themselves to their sort of final tension. So a trick here is to get the strings one by one and just wiggle them gently, just side to side, and put your finger underneath the string. What this does is it loosens the strings and stretches them out a little bit. It will take time for the strings to settle, so it probably will take a few days until they're in their final place, because they'll keep slipping and stretching until they finally settle on their final fixed state. Once you've stretched the strings, you now need to get your wire cutters and trim the excess string. So get as close as you can to the peg. And cut it. Do this for each one. If you still have some bits sticking out, what I usually do is just get the wire cutters and just press them around so they're not poking out. Just try and get them as flush as possible, just so they don't catch anything. And that's how to restring your acoustic guitar. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or want to ask something about what I did, leave a comment below and I will try and get back to you. Bye!